Hello, everyone, and welcome to Overcast. This is the 47th episode of Overcast. So glad that you could join us. This is your Overwatch podcast. Remember that you can follow us on Twitter at Overcast Show. You can also go to our new blog page, which is overcast.frozenfoxmedia.com. Speaking of Frozen Fox Media, you can go to frozenfoxmedia.com to learn about this and all the other shows on the new Frozen Fox Media Network. Head over to our Facebook page and give us a like there. If you're watching the video version of this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like the show. And if you're listening to the audio version on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play Music or anywhere else, give us a good review if you like the show there. We would much appreciate it. Formalities are now out of the way. So, as you can see, I am joined here this week with Sawfty. How are you doing, my friend?
Good evening. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good.
This is it's been a good week of games. I've been playing really, really late at night. You saw me on really late at night.
Yes, I did.
My good friend that will be a local friend after I move next week. He is Trackpad Gamer. I've talked about him on the show for a couple weeks now, and I got to play a bunch of games with him for a while on stream. It's been pretty fun. Nice. I still can't believe how good he is with a trackpad, though. Like, it's pretty crazy to think that he can sit there and snipe people just with his fingers.
Yeah.
So doing the brawl. I was doing the brawl with him especially a lot this week because he wanted to do that. So this week's brawl was the Nana knows best. So it's Nana and all the tanks, which I think I probably quadrupled the amount of time that I had on Reinhardt this week.
Oh, really?
So, because of that.
That's awesome.
So how about yourself? What have you been up to this week?
This week I have got back into Overwatch a bit. As many know, Legion Betas had most of my attention in World of Warcraft. But things are kind of calming down, not a ton of changes, so I got to play some Overwatch. Played a little more Anna, got some time with her. I don't really like her.
Did you get any
she
skins for her?
No, I have the coins too, but I just haven't pulled the trigger. I think my issue is with the hybrid class, much like the Druid of old in Warcraft, where it's like she can heal, she can do damage, but she's not the best at either. And so it's hard to know when is the right time for her. I think you don't want her on every single map. Mm-hmm. So I think I was probably playing her on the wrong maps just because I wanted to test more with her. So I was very happy to get some Overwatch in, and my esteemed co-host, who is absent tonight, actually noted that I happened to be in Overwatch, and he couldn't believe it. So, Ova, I'm sure you're listening. Let's get some playtime in this week. Other than that, of course, Legion Beta. I've been doing a lot in there still testing between 3 to 4 tanks for Legion. And then now I'm officially on vacation for the week.
There you go.
I know, it's amazing.
Lots of free time then, huh?
Well, my dad's going in for surgery tomorrow, and so we'll be doing stuff with him. So most of the time we'll be there, but I'm sure I'll have some free time here and there. Plus, it's the weekend, so.
There you go. Well, hope all goes well with that. And,
I'm sure.
Heard also that you've been guesting around.
Sometimes I do get around. Yeah, I got a tweet from Wikidella to check my messages, and I got to be on her podcast last night. Which was a lot of fun. I think Julie was out with something. She didn't exactly tell me what, but I got to be a part of Overplayed, and I really enjoyed that. So I had a lot of fun over there. Go check that out, of course. I'm sure you will love the show title when she puts it up.
There you go. And speaking of being out with something, as you can notice, Ova is out this week. Unless he's here somewhere that I don't know.
He's Where's Waldoing us.
He might be watching us somehow. Who knows? He's behind you, look out, right?
Yeah.
So let's jump into the topics of the week. We don't have a whole lot of topics this week. It feels like kind of a before launch episode because not a whole lot's going on.
Exactly.
So San Diego Comic-Con happened this week, and the potential reveal of Sombra did not happen this week.
Just still in hiding.
So we said that she must be hiding so well. She's so far in the shadows that she couldn't even be revealed at San Diego Comic-Con.
Nope. So it's too dangerous for her.
It's too dangerous, yes. So it still leaves into question, like, ¿Quién es Sombra? Who is she? We have no idea still.
Yeah, we really don't.
So yeah, there's all this speculation still that she's going to be like this roguelike stealth class, and that's been gaining a lot of momentum in a lot of areas of video game journalism and podcasting and whatnot. I told my wife this crazy idea that I had the other day that I think I was sitting there dozing off for a few minutes. You know, when you doze off, like you have like the little weird daydream kind of things.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I had this daydream that she was going to be actually somebody who was like a werewolf. I don't know why.
Of course you would think
I know,
that.
right? I don't know. It was just funny. Like I woke up and I was like, "What the heck was that dream about?" Like, and it was
Werewolf.
I was covering a story where she was revealed to be a werewolf because it's like of some instance that had happened with Overwatch, and I just thought it was like it'd be crazy to have like a melee like character in Overwatch that just like rips other people apart. But yeah, whatever, you know. I'll just
Again, Greymane, he'll be there.
I'll throw another rumor out there into the world, so
Why not?
take it or leave it. We don't even know who she is, so I mean, Shadow.
Or
sounds
if she exists.
yeah, she might not even exist anymore. So
Yep.
I mean, Shadow is what it would be is her name, but yeah, that sounds kind of like a wolf, right? You'd name a wolf Shadow.
Yeah. Yep. I think that would be exactly what I would name my pet wolf.
There you go. So I don't know, whatever. Whoever Sombra is, we'll find out one day, hopefully. How about this thing about Anna and getting the ability to boot people from games with Anna?
Yeah. Yep. That is a little bit of an exploit. It seems like people are being able to use with a triple Ana. And the sleep dart people are able to chain it until the person is seen as AFK and is kicked from the game.
Oh dear.
Whoops.
Oh dear. So just for the record, you have not had this happen to you yet.
No, I have not.
Nor have I. It's you'd have to be sitting around for a while for the system to get you as AFK and boot you. So
Yep, absolutely.
I can imagine that you're just sitting there and you're just watching the world go by, you know?
And then all of a sudden you're booted.
Yeah. And it's like, you're going to be AFK. See you later.
It's bad enough when your pizza is ready and you go try to grab it for 2 seconds and then you're booted.
Yep.
This is way worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So hopefully Blizz comes up with some kind of solution to that. I'm sure they will.
Yes, I'm sure they have to.
Yeah, I guess if you're on the other end of that, it's kind of funny to like watch them just disappear. But you're if there's 3 of you doing that, you're also not helping very much. So
No,
you might be
that's
losing.
true. Well, right, and then if it gets autofilled again, did you really do anything?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So there was patches on the 21st and the 26th. So a couple since the last show. I'm going to run down some of the things from that. For the ones on the 21st, competitive play had a small change. Attacking teams have 4 minutes to capture the first point on assault maps, so a 1 minute decrease to attack that first point. And the You Are Not Prepared spray, the Illidan spray, is now available for all players.
And not just the spray.
And the icon.
And the icon, that's right. Which is my favorite.
So it's we're getting that crossover as Legion approaches. Demons are even invading Overwatch somehow. And
why not?
As of that day, all of Anna's in-game sounds now have proper occlusion. So there you go.
We knew they were going to fix it. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah. Talking about fixing things, let's see what they did this week. They did some hero balancing this week.
Yep.
So Anna got her first amount of love, I guess you could say. So
she needed some love.
She needed some love. You got to tell me what you think about this when you see that her rifle was changed so that the rate of fire was increased by 20%, and the magazine was increased by 2, so 8 to 10. You have 10 rounds in that magazine now.
Yep.
So you can fire more, and you can carry more without having to reload.
Yep.
So
I think that gives her a little more range. Like I said, she's not really great at doing either. You know, she kind of has that weakness. So I think it's fine. It's definitely something to test out to see if that will give any major effect or help her be played more. Not that she needs to be played more right now, but in competitive mode where you should not be testing her out, people, That's where she probably is going to hopefully see a little bump in play. Again, I think in a really skilled player's hand, she's a great tool. But yeah, a lot of people I think are kind of nervous because like, hey, I can't do as much deeps or I can't do as much healing as you could on if you were specified to that class. So
Yeah, I think that she still isn't strong enough to solo anything competitive. I think you'd have to pair her with some kind of other healer.
Yep,
Of any kind
absolutely.
at that point. If you have two healers, you might be able to get away with it.
Sure.
I like it. I don't know. Did you find yourself ever? I think I looked down my scope like twice with her though. Like, I think that's the big thing.
I love the scope with her. It is the one redeeming feature I find of like her general play style. I love the scope. You feel like you're standing in C-3PO's helmet looking at the rest of the field. I think that is great. I think they did a fantastic job with that.
I really like the scope, but I feel like because she doesn't have the ability to really get up in some of the maps into some kind of like sniper nest, I find myself just kind of standing like a little bit behind everybody, kind of like I would with Mercy.
Right.
And I'm just spam shooting them. Like, I'm just like, just go for it. I've got your back. And then I'm just throwing the grenades in there, especially on some of the capture points on some of the maps. I'm just like, just go, get in there. I'm just going to shoot whoever gets hit. It's going to get hit.
Yeah. We, Wicked and I had this conversation last night where every comic and any video or anything you see Anna in, she is up in a sniper's nest somewhere, right?
Yep.
How'd she get there? Because she sure didn't get there in Overwatch.
Yep. Like
There's no way for her to get up and be in that area. And yeah, to your point, I don't need to use the scope at all. If I'm trying to play seriously, not just playing around with her, I don't use the scope.
But I love
maybe one or two times.
Yeah, yeah. I love the look of her scope, just like you said. I think it's really awesome.
Looks great.
But I just don't. There's no advantage that I've seen to use it because I can hit anybody if I'm close enough, and still choose who I want to hit, and it's fine. And like you said, the fact that she is shown everywhere, always in some sniper nest that she would never be able to get to. Like I said last week, when she was revealed, she's on like the first little bridge thing in Temple of Anubis.
Yep.
There's no way she would ever get up there, ever.
Never. No.
So, false advertising. Come on.
I don't know if you feel like I do, but I kind of got this feeling from her. And I like the idea behind her that maybe she wasn't designed as well as the other characters. I feel like all the other characters don't have these major flaws. And I don't mean minor flaws, but I mean major flaws. Basically the whole fantasy behind her is this sniper that is in these crazy spots where she's hitting these amazing shots, which she can't. The sniping that you see in the comics, she really can't do. There's a lot of things that feel like they had this great idea, but the execution just wasn't there. And I don't really want to speak ill of Overwatch because I've loved so much of what it is. But I think this is, for me, I don't want to say it's their first miss, but maybe there was things they could have done better before they released her.
Yeah.
I like the idea. I like what they thought of when they brought her about. I just think there was some things they could have done better.
I agree. I think her idea, like the concept behind her, is fantastic. But without her being able to get into somewhere where she can actually utilize the scope, I don't think she needs it. That's the main thing. It's like, you have this awesome tool, but I don't ever see a reason to use it because you got to be able to throw your grenade and stuff in there.
Yep.
And to target, your like the nano boost and everything, you can't be like a mile away. So
exactly.
You find yourself just having to be kind of in the fray anyway.
And it's not a good spot for a sniper to be at. I mean, that's another, again, minor design thing is when she has those abilities where she needs to be close and her fantasy is as a sniper, it just doesn't really click. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, even if she had like an alternate fire that was like a grappling hook on her, arm
that'd be very cool. Yeah, I'd like that.
Go for that. I mean, I know that Widowmaker has like a grappling hook too, but it's like, well, multiple characters can wall climb too, so it's not like a big deal.
Right. Oh, and that's the thing about the comics. We've never seen how she gets there. We just see her in these crazy places. And if she can be in these... Yeah, I know, right? If she can get there, we need to know how, and we need to know why she can't anymore. There's got to be some sort of fantasy they can put behind her to make the class make sense.
She hurt her leg.
Just my opinion. Yeah. I mean, like, there has to be a reason why she can't.
Yeah.
Or I cannot imagine that they just put her in thinking they'll never realize she can't get up there. They won't even think about it. Don't worry. I mean, you know what I mean?
It'll
It's
never
just
cross their minds.
yeah. Like, what did they think we were thinking? We're like, oh, cool sniper in cool places that can't do that at all in the game. Can't snipe people.
Yep.
And doesn't need her sniping rifle.
Exactly. So I don't know.
Hashtag rant.
We'll see. We'll see if they change anything in the future, but I just don't think that they're going to do it now. I think it's
No, I don't think so either.
If it's gone as far as it has, I think they're just gonna. It'll just stay. So
Yep.
kind of sad for her, but yeah, she's still pretty cool. But like I said,
Yeah.
she's gonna need some love still. Talk about somebody who got some love.
Yes.
How about some McCree? So they keep tweaking that gun of his.
Yes, they do.
So the damage fall-off range was decreased by 10 meters now. So before the range falls off, it's going to be 10 meters different, which I don't really know how to judge meters in the game yet, to be honest.
I know, right?
like I've said before in World of Warcraft, yards is something, if you talk about the devs, is something that they just call the game unit, whatever the game unit is.
Right.
And sometimes
right.
like 5 yards seems like it's 5 pixels, in that game, so who knows?
Yeah.
The damage fall-off amount was unchanged, and thus his effective range is still higher than it was at launch. So that's kind of an interesting thing. The other interesting thing that I thought happened was the alternate fire. The rate of fire was increased by 15%. So now it's even faster, which I guess makes people happy if they want to be able to use the alternate fire now. Kind of like a little bit more satisfying, and it gets it out of the way faster too, so you can go on and do more stuff. I think that's one thing. The other thing was his flashbang. The recovery time before you can do it again was decreased from 0.5 seconds to 0.35. So,
yeah, it seems like they're really playing around with it. They're not sure really where they want him to be at. Hopefully they can figure it out with these last set of changes. But, yeah, there's a lot of little movements that they've made over the last, month or so that, I don't know. It's kind of a Blizzard thing, though, to like, hey, something's really good. Let's nerf it to be down here. Well, then we need to bump it up. Well, probably a little too good. We should bring it back down. So that's kind of their process. It's a lot easier to see a big change than it is to see little changes.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
It seems like a lot to me. The developer notes don't really say much about that other than the fact that they just want them to land more alternate shots.
Yeah.
What I see with it is like being able to use your flashbang and use your alternate shots and everything like that faster so that you can get on to doing more things quicker. He is like a quick draw kind of guy. It's kind of like what his fantasy is. So, he's not going to be sitting there fanning the hammer for very long. He's just going to get the shots out and go on to something else. And when he flashbangs, he's going to flashbang somebody and he's going to quick draw on them. So I think it brings it more into that line of fantasy plus. Like it just kind of makes things move faster. You're not locked into, okay, I flashbang somebody and I got to wait half a second to shoot them. And 0.2 seconds, I don't know if that is a big enough change to really make that much of a difference, but I can see kind of what I think they're doing with it at the same time. So we'll see what happens with that.
I think they're down to the small changes at this point, but I don't know. I don't know what to think. McCree was too good, then he wasn't good enough, and they'll get there.
Now he's getting better, but we'll see.
Yeah, just have faith.
Yeah, if you're a McCree fan, he'll come back. It'll be his turn one day.
Yep.
And the final thing was Anna's sleep dart, the initial recovery when you're damaged. It used to be immediate, of course, and now you've got the 0.5 seconds. So
right.
There you go.
And there was some information in there as well about if it used to be that if Anna hit you, if anything hit you in that time, the sleep dart would go away.
Yep.
But now if that window is now open for things to hit, so if you maybe accidentally put a dot on them or things like that, there is that small window where you do get some clemency against any melee or any attacks, I should say.
Yep, melee, even projectiles that would hit that are like on their way.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about, but it'd be interesting to see how many different things you can get in that window.
There you go. I'm sure some teams will practice around that, to be honest.
Yes, they will, I'm sure.
So how about soon trademark coming around? The Overwatch graphic novel that we've been hearing about so much will be coming out in April 2017.
2017.
Yes, so almost like about 10 months from now or whatever, we'll finally get the graphic novel. Which, if it's really good, it's worth the wait. That's fine. I wonder how long it's going to be. What if it's really long? That could be really good then. So
I guess maybe if it was like a big collection book of graphic novels, but that's a long time. I mean, they announced books sooner than that. This is a graphic novel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm surprised that it's going to be that long. That's a significant amount of time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, take it or leave it. So, 2017, we'll give you our review of it.
Can't wait.
When it comes out. Like you said, I'm surprised at the same time that they even bothered to announce the date that early. So,
yeah, I would think that they would announce like maybe January, February of 2017. But we're in July of 2016. This doesn't make any sense.
It's almost like they just had to say something because it was like Comic-Con, I think.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah,
well,
probably.
It's Comic-Con and this is a graphic novel. Well, we'll just release it. Put it out there.
And we don't have a character to talk about.
Yeah.
Growly face.
How about the new Anna comic? I'll let you give us the rundown of that. So we got another look into Anna.
Yep, we got a second one. And this comic was about the relationship between Anna, Reaper, and Soldier 76. A lot of little interesting lore tidbits.
Yep.
I thought it was another good comic. I enjoy the comics. I think most of them pretty much, so that shouldn't really surprise anybody. I didn't really hate any of them so far. But I thought this gave you a good insight to their relationship.
Yep.
And I think it kind of has an interesting ending. So I really hope that they keep going with these. I'd love to see how far down they can develop. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth the read. If you haven't read it, go check it out.
There you go. And finally, the BlizzCon virtual ticket is now on sale.
Yes!
We wondered why last week they were already releasing what was going to be in the goodie bag.
Yep.
On the Worgens How we were talking about, they were like, this seems really early to release that. It all made sense that when they this weekend were like, hey, you can buy the virtual ticket now.
Yep.
And now I know why, because now you can get the goodie bag with your virtual ticket and enjoy all the cool stuff that comes with that.
Yep.
For an awesome $35.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Especially if you're doing the virtual ticket instead of a $200 BlizzCon ticket, the hotel stay, the air travel, food, etc.
Yep.
It's not really anything. And the Stein that is included in the goodie bag is worth the price to me itself.
Yes.
As a dwarf aficionado, I saw that and immediately knew I had to have the goodie bag. So they have not yet released the contents of the virtual ticket, what that will include. But I did get a confirmation from Blizzard yesterday that they will be announcing that, and it should include a pet of the Murloc variety.
As usual.
As usual. We need an Overwatch pet. I'm just saying, an Overwatch Murloc is what I want.
How about like a Overwatch Winston?
Nope, I want a Tracer.
You want a Tracer? A Tracer?
I want a Murloc Tracer.
Tracelock. Tracelock confirmed.
Maybe a Junkrat or a Roadhog. I think those would be pretty cool too.
Oh man, the possibilities with this.
Yeah. We already have a Winston,
they
so
didn't want to release him because he's going to be Sombra based, right? Like that's why we don't know
who he is. That's the real Sombra.
Sombra is a Murloc. That's what it is.
So you'll not only get the virtual ticket and that goodie bag, but you also get some goodies alongside the virtual ticket. So that'll be nice as well. I look forward to those every year, and every year I collect those stupid little Murlocs, level them up, and never use them again.
Yeah, we haven't had a mount with a Murloc or anything like that since 2008.
Nope. It's been a long time, yeah.
Do you think it's time? Do you think it's time? I think, what about...
As someone who missed 2008, yes, I really think it's time. That was actually a big year for me, and we were doing, that was my first big, hardcore rating year, and I don't know, I can't remember what came up, but I couldn't make it. I was very upset. I want my mount. That's all I'll say there.
So to make everybody as jealous as possible, it'd probably be something like an ethereal moose with a Murloc riding on it and a BlizzCon flag, and like the world would just go completely bat crazy at that point.
I'd like to see that.
But speaking of what you can confirm to get with the goodie bag, as well as the sign, of course, there's some other things. There's something from every game. When we talk about Overwatch stuff, you can get the inflatable Reinhardt hammer. Yeah, yeah, there's always some kind of inflatable weapon now.
Yep.
And it's the inflatable rocket hammer from Reinhardt. So there
This
you
is
go.
such a fail. I don't know if you've seen it blowing up, but it's a black hammer.
Well, it's got some
It
silver on it.
it does have some stuff. You're right, but it looks like anything you'd see at the fair, and you would never associate it with Reinhardt. This is the one part of it that I looked and I thought, what were they thinking? I mean, they're like, wow, we have all these leftover blow up hammers from the carnival we just had. Let's make them Reinhardt hammer.
The big thing to me is that I'm fine with them making, even if it looked the same, as long as it was like Reinhardt sized. Okay.
Right, right.
So if it was
But
like
there should be
absolutely
some
massive,
notation or something.
yeah. If it was absolutely massive, I mean, if like the
Hmm.
whole thing, spanned like 4 or 5 feet, I'd be like, that's not bad. Okay, I'll take it because it's huge.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think it only looks like it's a couple feet long, so I'm kind of like,
Yep.
It looks like it's not even as long as like the Frostmourne was.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it looks like it could belong to anybody. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's anybody's. When you think of like a weapon that really identifies somebody, like Reaper's handguns. I mean, there are some weapons out there that really kind of identify to a character, and Reinhardt's hammer just doesn't seem to be an identifiable trait,
Yeah, I agree. So
in my own opinion.
we'll see. But I think it was. I have to say that I think it was better than the microfiber cloth from Hearthstone.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Yep.
disappointing. I was kind of like,
That was super disappointing.
that's all they get. But practical
Yeah.
though. But practical for a Hearthstone
So
player. But still,
I saw the unboxing, and the person's like, "Oh, a cloth, neat." I mean, yeah, it's kind of disappointing. The Hearthstone player, which I'm not a Hearthstone player, so I don't really care that much, kind of got shorted there.
there you go. Well, let's talk about hero spotlighting time
Hero Spotlight.
with Reaper this week, huh?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Speaking of Reaper,
Yes. Could you imagine some blown up Hellfire shotguns just to carry around?
that would be freaking awesome.
Pretty cool.
Honestly.
Yeah, right? Come on, Blizz. What are you doing? Right. Okay. Reaper. You guys probably know Reaper, but just in case. Reaper has Hellfire shotguns. They are his default weapon ability and are known to kill a tank real fast. If
Or
you've never
anybody that has
they,
low health.
yeah, anybody. They hit hard and they're pretty easy to headshot.
And they have
His-
decent range even.
Yeah, they do. They do. They can hit from far away, which is weird because they're supposed to be like shotgun handguns, but they still hit from pretty far away. His left shift ability is, of course, Wraith form. He becomes a shadow and he transports himself there. You can't hit him while he's in it, so it's actually a pretty cool defensive cooldown. Pretty useful and a lot of times not used for movement at all, which I think might have been intended for, but didn't really come out that way.
Yep. You dive in when you're getting hurt after you'd hurt some other people, you Wraith form out and get healed up again.
Exactly. Yep. Same can be said with Shadow Step. Shadow Step is a 35-meter range. What the hell's a meter? Has 2-second duration with a 10-second cooldown. You basically mark a destination with Reaper, and it transports you there. You can use this to get into battle, get out of battle. Preferably, I like to use that before pulling off the ultimate. Of course, the ultimate is Death Blossom, and so many of us have experienced Death Blossom in positive and very negative ways.
So many play the game Death Blossoms.
Yes. I believe the correct quote is, "Wow, you really pressed Q well." Death Blossom, it's 510 damage in an 8-meter radius for 3 seconds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it does a ton of damage. Both Hellfire shotguns are shooting in a circle around so it can kill everybody. This is, of course, your Q ability. I did have one very positive experience with this on Dorado, where I just shadow stepped down on top of a car, popped Death Blossom, and got a team kill. So, I mean, it's not complicated. It's not hard. I think Reaper is kind of an interesting character because he has tendencies that are both good for like a really new player. Like the guns hit hard. You don't have to aim that well with them. Death Blossom is just like, hey, I pressed Q and I wiped a bunch of people out. And Shadow Step is a really easy way to move around the map. but in a skilled player's hands, he's also extremely deadly. So I think it's kind of a cool character where you can have two players at very different places playing him and playing him competently. Mm-hmm. So that is Reaper in a nutshell. Probably one of my favorite characters, I would say. If you want to know more about Reaper, check out Anna's new comic this week that talks about Reaper, Soldier 76, and of course Anna.
Reba McEntire Reaper skin confirmed.
Reba?
So there you go.
Just guitars everywhere.
I didn't get anything for Ask Overcast this week, but do remember, if you have any questions for us or about the show, or about Overwatch, anything, you can always ask us on Twitter. You can always also use the hashtag just AskOvercast, or you can send your email to askovercast@gmail.com even, if you want. And we will answer them on the show. So, any shout-outs?
We didn't get any entries, but we did get a lot of threats about it from a certain person. Wickedella, she'd like us to live stream, and she'd like to threaten us and troll us a lot. So we'll see if we can make that happen for you.
Yeah, we'll see about that. How about shout-outs? Shout-outs for the week? Do you have any?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Wickedella to having me on last night. Shout out to Julie for doing something else so I could step in. That was a lot of fun, and I appreciated the time. How about you?
I'm going to shout out to Ova, because I hope that he's doing well, wherever he might be.
I'm the one that shows up, and he gets a shout out. Figures.
So I think that brings us to the end, and where you can find us on social media. Like I said, I'm Frosty Fox everywhere. You'll see it below us right here. And also Sawfty. Where can people find you on the web?
They can find me at Old Sawfty on Twitter, because somebody stole Sawfty. I'm also in the Discord, and will not give it back, even though I haven't asked. I'm also in Discord. My tag is Sawfty. Currently, I have a picture of an Arby's brunch burger hamburger.
Yes. I saw that.
Delicious. That is where you guys can find me.
Excellent. And you can also find the show at Overcast Show. Mm-hmm. Head over to our blog page for show notes and more at overcast.frozenfoxmedia.com. FrozenFoxMedia.com is also your home for all of the shows on the Frozen Fox Media Network, so go check out all of them. We've got you covered from all sides of video gaming. Head over to Facebook, and you can go ahead and like us on there, so please do that. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you like us on YouTube, if you're watching the video version of this. And also give us a good review on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play Music. If you enjoy the show, subscribe there and enjoy listening to the audio version of the show. Speaking of versions of the show, there will not be a version of the show next week. The Frozen Fox Media Network will be moving. We are doing our final big move, because the move where we're at right now is just temporary. So we'll be heading on to Denver and setting up shop. And since we will not have internet or an office or anything to work with, we will not be doing any shows on the entire network. So look for all of us to take a week off. Speaking of vacation for you earlier, right? So
yes, sir.
We get extended vacation, at least podcasting-wise.
Yep.
And that is it for us. So thank you for joining us for the 47th episode of Overcast, your Overwatch podcast. It's fantastic to have you. Hope you have a fantastic 2 weeks, because we won't see you for a couple weeks. And play lots of Overwatch in the meantime. So for that, I am Frosty.
I am Sawfty.
And we'll see you next time.